Today we're working on a problem with low pressure in our hot water system. Cold water works fine, but hot water seems to run out of pressure. So to troubleshoot the problem, I started checking to see if there was a sediment issue inside the water heater. So I turned the gas supply valve to the pilot setting and closed the water supply valve. Then I went to a nearby sink and turned on the hot water to bleed off the pressure from the system. And then we opened the drain valve where we drained the water heater through a mesh bag. We only caught about a teaspoon of sediment, so that was not the problem. But when I turned on the water supply valve to refill the water heater, water didn't seem to be going into the water heater. Something seemed plugged up between the valve and the heater. The inlet to the water heater was plugged. So I took it apart, removed the inlet nipple, and what I found was this inlet nipple is actually what they call a heat trap nipple. It has a little floating ball inside, and the way it's supposed to work, it's supposed to look like this inside this nipple. There's a stop. There's a stop in the bottom part of the nipple that keeps the ball from falling into the water heater. And when the ball sits on there, the water can flow around the ball and past the stop. But when water is not flowing, it's supposed to come up against the seat and prevent warm water from escaping up into the inlet line. So it's an energy saving device. But apparently what's happened on mine is the ball has worn out to the point where it actually worked its way through the seat and it was sitting on top of the seat. So it was actually preventing water from going into the water heater. It was sitting up here on top of the seat. It would not come up. It would not push back through for some reason and prevented water from getting into the water heater. So I took the nipple apart. You can look inside. You can see the baffle plate on the bottom. The stop that keeps the ball from falling into the water heater is still there. And what we need is to replace this. Unfortunately, my local supply shop does not have one of these. So I am simply going to remove the ball and put it back together for now. One other thing that I'll note is there are a lot of comments on the internet where people have had a very, very difficult time removing this nipple without damaging it. And if you damage it, you could possibly ruin the water heater if you mess up the fitting it's screwed into. So be very cautious. What I could have done is I could have simply reached down inside with a small pair of needle nose pliers and plucked this ball out and just pulled it out that way. Hope that helps.